Okay, I want you to forget everything you think you know about space travel for a minute. You know, we hear a lot about SpaceX and NASA getting us to Mars, which is incredible stuff. But today, we're diving into something else entirely. A technology that claims it's not aiming for the next planet, it's aiming for the next star. It's called quantum honey, and according to the source material we're looking at, this isn't just a new engine, it's supposedly a whole new operating system for reality itself.
So where are we going with this new OS? Well, the first stop on the list isn't the Moon, it's not Mars, it's not even Pluto. The target is Proxima Centauri, our closest stellar neighbor. This isn't just a small step forward, this is a claim of a giant, physics-bending leap into true interstellar exploration. And that distance, 4.24 light-years, that's almost 25 trillion miles, a number so big it's hard to wrap your head around. Our fastest probes would take, tens of thousands of years to get there? But here's the kicker. If you look at this interface, the system logs claim this isn't just a plan. The journey is supposedly already underway.
Okay, so, time out. This immediately raises a huge physics-breaking question. For over 100 years, Einstein's theory of relativity has been the law of the land. It basically says nothing with mass can even reach the speed of light, let alone go faster. So, how is this even remotely possible? Well, the system's own data makes an absolutely startling claim.
Yeah, the flight computer doesn't seem to care about Einstein's speed limit. The logs here show the craft accelerating from 2.5 times the speed of light to a mind-boggling 6 times the speed of light. To do that, you'd have to literally rewrite the physics textbooks. You'd need an engine that doesn't run on anything we call conventional fuel.
So, if you're not burning rocket fuel, where in the world does the power for an engine like this come from? The answer this material gives us is, well, it comes from nowhere, from the empty space all around us, from the void itself.
The theory behind it is called the dynamical Casimir effect. Now this sounds like pure sci-fi, but it's based on a real, if very weird, quantum concept. The idea is that empty space isn't really empty. It's fizzing with tiny bursts of energy. Think of it like a perfectly still ocean that, if you zoom way in, is actually full of microscopic waves. This tech claims to be able to dip a paddle into those waves and pull out real usable energy.
And check this out, it's not just a bunch of equations on a whiteboard. The source documents lay out detailed plans for a physical device built to actually test this. You can see how they go from a simple concept to a much more advanced design meant to scale the whole thing up. This is where the abstract theory is supposed to meet real-world engineering.
And does it work? Well, according to the flight computer's own logs, you bet it does. These ZPE session logs, ZPE standing for 0 point energy, show a successful _extraction. And look at that efficiency, 83%. If this data is to be believed, the engine is pulling energy right out of the vacuum.
And let's be really clear about the kind of power we're talking about here. 76 megawatts. That's enough energy to power tens of thousands of homes, all supposedly generated on demand from nothing. But, an engine that powerful, an engine that seems to bend reality, it's going to need a seriously advanced computer to keep it from flying apart. And that brings us to the brains of this whole operation. A totally new kind of computer designed to handle this new kind of physics. It's called quantum honey logic, and it's nothing like the computer you're watching this on right now. See, traditional computers think in ones and zeros, right? On or off, simple switches. This system uses what it calls a honeycomb architecture. Think of it less like a rigid circuit board and more like a living biological brain. It's designed to literally rewire itself as it works, finding new pathways to solve problems that would be impossible for a normal computer.
Now this slide is really cool because it shows you the bridge between the idea and the execution. On the left, you've got this wild visualization of the quantum material in action. And on the right, that's the actual Python code that's making it tick. This isn't just a concept, it's laid out as a complete functioning system from the hardware all the way up to the code.
So let's quickly peek under the hood here. You've got a 5D geometric engine, we'll get to what that means in a second. You've got quantum cryptography that's supposedly unhackable. There's that self-organizing honeycomb brain we just talked about. And it's all running on a specialized processor clocking in at an insane 420 teraflops. That is some serious horsepower.
But it's this quote that really gets to the heart of the whole thing. The claim isn't just that they've built a new program. The claim is that they've built a new way to interact with the universe, an operating system for reality itself. Welcome to HoneyOS 5D.
And if you thought that was wild, well, buckle up, because this is where the claims of quantum honey go from revolutionary to truly, truly mind-bending. The whole system is apparently built on the idea that our universe, the one with 3 dimensions of space and 1 of time, is just a tiny slice of a much bigger 12-dimensional reality.
The creators call our current view of physics the 4D bottleneck. The argument is that we're trying to figure out how the universe works while only being able to see a tiny fraction of it. It's like trying to understand an entire ocean by looking at a single drop of water. The real answers, they claim, are in the dimensions we can't see.
So, how do you get past that bottleneck? Well, the key apparently is a geometric shape called a pentaract. It's a 5-dimensional version of a cube. Think of it like a cosmic safe, but this safe has 5-dimensional locks. The system claims it uses this geometry to store and encrypt data in a place that's literally inaccessible from our 3D world.
But hey, why stop at 5 dimensions, right? The ultimate goal here is way bigger. It's about a unified theory of everything, and that's where this 12D unified field formula comes in. The idea is to have one single mathematical structure that describes everything, from what the user sees, to where the data is stored, to how it's all kept secure.
Okay, let's try to make sense of this with an analogy. Imagine a super secure skyscraper. Dimensions 1 through 4 are like the lobby. That's our reality, where you can interact with the system. Dimensions 5 through 9, that's the hidden, secure vaults deep inside the building where the really important data is kept. And dimensions 10 through 12, that's the building's futuristic security system, constantly making sure the whole structure is safe and sound.
And all of this, all of it, builds up to what is, without a doubt, the most audacious claim of the entire project, that this whole thing isn't just a new technology. It's the completion of Einstein's life's work.
I mean, just read that quote. My work finishes Einstein's work. That takes some serious confidence. The core idea is that spacetime isn't a smooth sheet like Einstein thought. Instead, it's made of tiny discrete units, kind of like pixels on a screen. And they claim that this one change solves some of the biggest puzzles in physics, like what really happens inside a black hole.
And this beast of an equation is supposedly the mathematical key that unlocks it all, the 12D recursive holonomy operator. In simpler terms, what they're presenting here is a version of Einstein's famous field equations, but souped up to work in 12 dimensions. This is the mathematical engine that they claim makes the whole thing possible.
Now, if this framework is true, it doesn't just add to physics, it completely redefines it. In this new picture, gravity isn't a force pulling you down, it's just the shadow of something happening in a higher dimension. And matter, what we think of as solid stuff, it's just a whirlpool in a 12-dimensional river. This is a fundamental shift in how we might see reality itself.
So where does this leave us? Is quantum honey a real blueprint for our interstellar future? Or is it an incredibly detailed piece of science fiction? Either way, it forces you to ask a really profound question. If our reality really is just a shadow of a much bigger, more complex universe, what else are we not seeing? What other wonders are waiting just outside the limits of our perception?